right down through the wire, even to the fire, through the fire, through the limit, to the wall. For a chance to be with you, I'll gladly risk it all. Oh my goodness. Twitter tripping. We lost another one. Twitter just told me I have to pay to subscribe live. Oh well, I guess no live on Twitter. I ain't paying for that, but I can get verified too. Hmm. What's happening? What's up? Got that thing fired up. Welcome everybody. We live streaming on every platform. I need to go fix my link so people can come on. So uh, live on YouTube, live on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, which I always get a random Twitch person. I don't know why or how or welcome. I mean, I heard Twitch is where it's at. I'll get on live on Twitch all day long and just sit here and talk. Because if I sit here I can sit here, I can comically get on this live and talk for 10 hours straight about money. No direction, no specific topic, just go. So people call it yapping. I call it just money flowing of ideas. But yeah, so I came on here to really address an issue that I've been seeing a lot all over social media, and that it's this stupid ass video that I keep getting tagged in. I got tagged in this one video over 300 times on multiple different platforms. And I'll get calls from people and they'll say, "Hey man, you seen this video?" I was like, no, what are you talking about? Oh man, I'll send it to you. And I watch it. And then what happened, this is what's crazy. I was kind of being dismissive when I watched it. I was like, yeah, it seems legit. I don't care. I watched probably, it was a 2 minute video. I watched the first 12 seconds of it and I was like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, it seems fine. And then I told like 3 people, yo, man, it's good. It's a good video. Watch it. Yeah, I watched it. It's good, man. It seems legit. And then I just kept getting tagged, kept getting tagged, kept getting tagged. And then somebody DM'd me and said, yo, I'm trying to, the video that's going viral about this particular subject, is it true that you make $3,000 a month guarantee every $3,000 every 3 months guaranteed money? And I was like, well, hold on. What are you talking about? Yo, the video that ain't going around. I was like, okay, now I gotta really watch it. So I sat my ass down and I really watched the whole video all the way through, and I was like, oh, that's why people are hyping this up. And then I looked at the video and it's like pretty much viral. It has like 25 million views. So I'll go ahead and talk about it a little bit. So the video is talking about a Morgan Stanley energy mutual fund. A guy walks up to a random old black guy and he says, yo, man, I'm interested in investing. You got any tips for me? He said, yeah, take $20,000, put it into a Morgan Stanley mutual fund. It will pay out $3,000 every quarter for the rest of your life. And he said, so that means that fund would pay you $12,000 a year. And he was like, oh hell yeah, I'm gonna do that. So they go on and on talking about, yeah, I'm gonna get it for the rest of my life and all that kind of shit like that. And man, I got tagged in that video so many times. They start talking about some other stuff too, talking about opening up a Roth or a mutual fund and putting money into it, and you have $3.6 million at his age. I'm gonna disprove that one next, or prove it. So good evening, sir. And but so then what happened is I started to do the research, what I started doing the research on this, and that's like 60% returns. I mean, truly, truly think about it. If you invested, good day to you too. If you invested money into something and you can receive 60% returns every year for the rest of your life, there wouldn't be a fool. Every human being in the world would do it. The stock market on average has produced, since the Great Depression, 10.1% interest. The whole shebang. Now, if you want to track the top 500 companies on the S&P 500 or the stock market, you start getting a little better. You're probably somewhere in the range of 14, maybe 15%. If you track the top 100 companies, you're at like 18.8%. You track the top 10 companies, which the top 10 companies on Wall Street make up 33% of all the American stock market. 10 companies make up 33% of the whole pot. And those companies, not in any particular order. If y'all want to give me a guess, give me a guess. Top 10 companies in the United States right now. And those companies make 33% of all the money in the stock market. I know somebody probably gonna say Tesla, and you're wrong. Apple, yes, Apple's a good guess if you guessed Apple. Come on, there's a few more. I want you to think big. Now, Google is so big. A lot of people are gonna say Google, and a lot of people probably gonna say Facebook too. But Facebook and Google are so big that their company has to be broken up. So they have what's called a research and development department, and then they have a search engine department, and then they have AdSense department. Google is so big, they have 3 stocks, 3 different ways they track their money. So research and development doesn't produce that much money. So they don't even count that. But the search engine, so when you go to Google and put in, restaurant near me, the first guy that comes up paid to be there. The second guy that came up paid to be there. First guy paid more. You put in restaurant near me, somebody's going to come up. Those guys paid to be there. That's how they make money. So that's where Google makes the majority of its money. The second majority of the pot from Google comes from AdSense. So if you're watching from YouTube or wherever you're watching, because YouTube pays people to promote on their app. And when they pay somebody to be on their app, they run ads on it. And that's how they make money. Number 1 is Microsoft. Pretty easy to guess. Microsoft been at the top of the list for 7 years or something. Microsoft is a monster, right? Some people probably thinking Walmart, you'd be a wall wrong. Walmart is not at the top of the list. Walmart's not even close. A lot of people probably say Tesla. Tesla's not at the top. A lot of people say Procter & Gamble. They make toilet paper, tampons, and tissue. Can't beat that stuff, but it's not on top. Somebody said Amazon. Yes, Amazon is like 4th. Someone said Broadcom Inc. Broadcom Inc. just fell out of the top 10. And for anybody who said that or knew that, they probably Googled it. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you. No one knows that. But You might have Googled it, but I'll give you credit if you did know that or didn't know that. So you also have a couple companies called Lilly. Lilly is a monster right now. And then you also have NVIDIA. NVIDIA makes processors and computer chips. And they pretty much help launch pretty much artificial intelligence. So NVIDIA, the easiest way to think about NVIDIA is if NVIDIA is the Skytech of the Terminator world. Right? If a company is to make a Terminator, I think it would be NVIDIA. So yeah, go figure, right? The beginning of the end. But yeah, so those 10 companies make 30% of all the money in America when it comes to the stock market. So if you wanted to track the top 10 companies, now you're somewhere in the range of 18 to 20%. So to get 18 to 20% consistently, now you can get into like some random ass fun and pop off 20, 30% over a year. I'm not saying you can't do that. You might can get into a ETF, a mutual fund, a stock or something like that that's popping off 50, 60%, but that's over 1 year. You're not going to maintain that over years of time. It just doesn't work like that. So yeah, so those 10 companies are what generally produces really, really high returns. So everybody keeps talking about this Morgan Stanley account that you put $20,000 into and get $12,000 back every year, or $3,000 every quarter, or $3,000 every 3 months. That's a 60% return, right? There's nothing that pays out 6%. I mean, if I put $20,000 into an account and I got $12,000 of it, fuck, I'll just take 2 million random dollars and put it into the account and get out $1.2 million. Right? If I put in 22 million bucks and I get out 60% return or 1.2% in million dollars, that's $100,000 a month of income. And you know, this is what's crazy too. The guy said you get 60% returns on you get 60% returns over a lifetime, right? Nothing's gonna give you 6% return over a lifetime. It don't work like that. Is that a high yield savings account? No. So for those who, I made a video about it. So there's a video going around. It has like 20 million views, 25, 30 million views, about a guy walking up to an old guy and said, "Yo, man, I need help. You got any investment tips for me?" He said, "Yeah, put $20,000 into a Morgan Stanley energy mutual fund, and it will pay you $3,000 every 3 months, or $12,000 a year, which is 60% returns." And I keep getting tagged in this video saying, "Yo, man, can you put 20 grand into account and get $12,000 out every year?" And I was like, "Man, hell no. That's hell no. Not even close." Bottom line, put it in the S&P 500. Right? You have some stuff you can. There's a lot of options out there, right? I always look for the long, consistent play. Right? Anything that's averaging over. If you just follow if you just follow the S&P 500 since the Great Depression, you're going to be at about 10.1 on average. But if you get into like a DOO, QQQ, SPY, that's ETFs, especially SPY. SPY been around forever. At least I think it has. Maybe I'm confusing them. But they're doing 14, 15, 16, 18% returns. Can't beat that stuff. But anyways, enough about that. Yeah, SPY is pretty good. I heard it is, but I'm VOO spoiled. I've been putting money into VOO for comically since 2013. So whenever I thought, one thing about money is that you constantly learning about it. You meet people and you talk to them, and then you say, "Yo, I invest in this," and they say, "Oh, I invest in this." And when you think you kind of got a grip on it, you meet people that is doing way better than you, and you're just like, "Wow, I'm gonna start doing what they're doing." And you just constantly learning, constantly doing things, constantly learning, constantly doing stuff. But I had my stuff in mutual funds through T. Rowe Price because back in the day, T. Rowe Price had a no load fund, meaning that I didn't have to put in the whole amount for the fund. So they came to me and said, "Yeah, you could just do $50 a month." So I just did $50 a month. I started that in 2008, and I just did that, did that, did that, and I was getting decent returns, 9, maybe 10, 10 and a half. And then someone told me, "Yo, you need to start getting into ETFs." I was like, "What the hell is that?" They just broke it down for me, and I said, "All right." So I just started investing in ETFs and set it and forget it. Now that portfolio's pretty nice. That's gonna be my next stage when I'm 65. Put it in the trust and live off the interest for the rest of my life. Then give the trust to my one of my kids, and then they can live off the interest, so they can be trust fund babies. What I plan on doing is taking half the pot, half the interest, putting it back into the pot. So let's say if there's, I don't know, $10 million in this fund, and I'm getting 15% interest. That's $150,000. No, sorry, at $10 million, that's $1.5 million. I'm gonna take 750,000 and I'm gonna put it back in the pot. So now it'll be 10,750,000, and then the other 750 divided up amongst my kids, and then y'all can either live off of it, y'all can spend it however y'all want to, y'all can do whatever you want, but and then I'm gonna also put stipulations on the money, which they're gonna hate, but they can kiss my ass. The stipulations will be probably something like you can't go to jail, you can't be on drugs, you have to get a degree to even start receiving money. I almost want to put like a military clause in. You got to do like 2 years in the military. I don't give a damn. You do National Guard or something, right? The Rockefeller approach. I ain't even know that. I don't know. I never heard of it, but I'm gonna put some kind of stipulation on it. But I did hear something about like the Vanderbilts will have like a clause. They have a clause on there where they have to do like certain things, right? You can't receive any money as an heir till you are a certain age, and you have to maintain like a job, or you have to maintain like a business. You have to do something because I don't want people to just be sitting around waiting for their $700,000 every year. Y'all got my $200,000. I'm gonna go sit around and watch Oprah all day and eat chicken wings or whatever. Fuck that, man. You got to still be productive in life. I don't want you sitting around all day because you heir to a very handsome, very smart young individual. So, but yeah, but I never really watched anything about the Rockefeller approach. You should look into it. Yeah, I'll look it up. Right, but I'm sure there's other families that do something similar. But I've never thought about doing it. But I never looked at other people the way they do it. I probably look at somebody. Only reason that made me think of that is because I did meet a guy. Because and everybody who knows me, I was in the military for years, and I came across a guy, and he was kind of in the same thing. He was a trust fund baby, and with him is he had to get he had 5 things. He had to have any degree from a college. He had to join the military, do any military service. He had to be married, he had to be, I forgot the other one. I think either drug free or something. Uh, I know another one was that he had to buy a house, right? So it was kind of crazy. But this is what was crazy about the way he did it. He joined the United States Air Force, and he could almost knock out his whole list in 2 years. He got married while he was there. You can buy a house in the military with 0% down or zero out of pocket, zero down payment. You get a degree in the Air Force. If you go to technical training, since we're an accredited university, pretty much, you get a degree for being there. It's an accredited national degree. It's only an associate's degree, and it's from the Community College of the Air Force, but it is a degree. And then also, they're gonna drug test you all the time, so you don't have to worry about that. And what he got was, I think his was a one-time payment. I think his was like a one-time payment of 600,000 from the trust as soon as you did that, and he had to be like 25 years old or something like that. So what's crazy is he got all that money. Probably it's damn near as soon as he pretty much graduate the training school that I taught him at. So that's how he did it. And also too, I was reading something about the Rothschilds do something like that. The Rothschilds family, they'll let you stay in any one of their castles for free. And whenever you turn a certain age, I think it's 30, you get a lump sum of money, and that's all you get for the rest of your life. You get a lump sum. I don't remember what it was. 5 million, 2 million, 10 million. I don't remember what it was. I think it's like 10 million bucks. And if you spend it, you're over. And I'll probably end up doing something like that because it just makes more sense. You just get your 10 million, your 5 million, or whatever it is, and then you're on your own, right? And then the trust just continues to grow and make money, make interest, and then whatever the interest rate is for that year, you just get that money, and then you on your way. But you're pretty much giving somebody a lottery ticket. But I don't know. I don't know how spoiled I want these kids to be. I don't know. Throw me some ideas out. What do y'all think? What would you do if you was in charge or heir to a lot of money? How would you want to disperse it to your kids? Would you want them to get it all outright? Yeah. Oh yeah. Sometimes. Oh yeah. I've heard that too. So what they'll do is they'll put life insurance policies on all the people, and whenever they die, the life insurance pays out to the trust, and they just throw all the trust money into that pot. But they're still drawing interest on the pot from the previous amount of money. But you got to set up a bulletproof trust. You know, I think it'd be cool to leave your kids like a castle or some shit. But if I had about 20 more extra years, like if I knew what I knew now, and I was like 25. Yeah, they for damn sure own half of England. I would not give them all the money at once. Yeah, probably just trickle it out. So probably like, if my calculations are correct, when I'm 65 years old, I'll be sitting on somewhere in the range of 50 to 100. 50, say if I'm at 50 million, $50 million at 12% is shit. 1.2 is 10. So almost $6 million a year. So I'll make $6 million a year just in interest. So now, so answer the question: if you had $6 million a year to give your kids every year, how would you disperse it to them? You just give them $100,000 each and say, "Piss off." Or here's $1 million, go buy a house. Here's $1 million, you're gonna use $1 million to go buy a house with. See, look, there's rich people problems, the stuff people got to worry about, right? Staying a long, long way. Set up a pizza buffet business for them. I'm gonna tell you something. Over the years and years and years, somebody said give them a business. Over the years, I've been working with people in their businesses and or in their assets or just talking to different types of people and stuff. Nobody wants to take over their family business, right? The majority of people don't want it. Think about that. I always say this, for example. Think of the kid who works in their family shop. And I'll even say you, right? Say you're 5 years old and your mom say, "Yo, man, come up here and work on this pizza place. I got a dog shelter. Help with these dogs. Clean this poop up. Yeah, I have a pizza. I have a restaurant. Go make this dough or whatever you want." Nobody wants to do that. The kids turn 18, 19 years old. They take their ass to college. They do something they want to do, and they don't look back. Kids want money. They don't want your business or your headache. Kids want money. Give them money, right? Just like now. Think about when you were like 20, 21, 25. Think about, or even now. What do you want for Christmas? Do you want someone else's headache? Or you want gift cards and money and peace and quiet? Same thing, man. Yeah, there's only one guy who I knew that had a jewelry business, but he got jewelry business. Yeah. Sometimes the kids inherit some of that. Sometimes. But for the most part, kids don't want that stuff, man. They want to just get that money and get the hell out of there. But if you're interested in getting some stuff going, that's why I'm here. Oh man. How long we been on? We ain't been on that long. Y'all give me some subjects. I'll talk about this though. I got a property in South Carolina. Like all my bills are on auto pay. This damn company keeps taking mortgage payments out. They owe me, they took out 3 extra mortgage payments. Three extra mortgage payments. I need to call and be like, "Yo, man, send me a damn check. Y'all are killing me. Y'all are killing me." I would even just apply to the principal, save me a little money on interest, but god dang, they don't even do that. They just keep charging me every month when they know they owe me $30,000. There was a farmer named Boswell, I.G. Boswell. He's a farmer with a ranch. None of the kids wanted the farm, so they sold the land. That's about right. That's about right. What's crazy is one part of me don't want them to have shit because I want them to work hard. But you shouldn't be, if you're in a good, decent position to set up the next generation, why not? You know? One side of me says, screw that, and another side of me says, run it. But I don't know. I'm almost conflicted. One side of me wants to take their money and just, and I kind of can see like what Bill Gates and stuff says. Bill Gates says, I'm gonna get no, never sleep. Bill Gates says he's gonna take all his money and give it away and only leave them an X amount of money left. Or like $1 million a piece. And then another side of me says, you know what? I wouldn't mind having like great grandkids who's sitting on like millions of dollars worth of money, and they're just like have a picture of me on like a mantle somewhere, and they're just like, yeah, who the hell is that? Oh, that's Mr. Richard. Who the hell is that? Oh, that's my great grandfather. He was an entrepreneur. He wasn't on there. He wasn't out here messing around. He used to just buy a whole bunch of real estate, buy a whole bunch of companies, buy a whole bunch of processes, and his goal was to be, the biggest entrepreneur in the world. But he got pretty popular, but he kind of lost interest after a while, and then he was just sitting on like millions of dollars. He set up a family trust. The trust pays me $1.5 million every year, and it's almost like an allowance. What do you do with it? I do what I want. But I've always wanted to. I think that'd be kind of cool, you know. I actually, this is what's crazy. I was actually watching Wimbledon this morning, or just a couple of nights back, and I think the Queen of England was walking around with her daughter, and the daughter is like a huge tennis fan, and she's walking around with like the winner and the runner up of Wimbledon, and they're like they pretty much cut off the whole building and then just made them in a room by themselves talking. And he was introduced. The mom was introducing the daughter to the Queen of England, the heir, and then the son was there too. So when Prince Charles died, he'll be the heir because he's the living heir to Prince Charles. And he was walking around like he kind of looked like he was like snooty, but I'm sure somebody has told him he was only like 9 years old, 8, 9 years old. Somebody, he probably gets told a lot, yo, man, you're going to be heir to all of this shit. And one side of me thinks that's cool as hell, right? You're like 6, 7 years old. You know shit's different because everybody like respects what you do, and you have this big ass house, and you're just like, man, like, you know, this is normal, and that's just the way it is. It's kind of crazy. I think it'd be kind of cool to have like some type of heir, 3 or 4 years down the road, even though I would never see it. Just they're just being born, and they're more likely going to be black or mixed or something like that, and they'll just have bukus of money. I probably make like a catalog or some video log or something like that, and just talk to them and say stuff like, "Yo, I'm here. This is him. This is me, and this is how I did it. This is how I started. This is where I used to live. That shit was rough, but luckily, your grandma, which is my daughter, I set them up for the rest of their lives. Rich grandpa. Yeah, yeah. But I don't know. Sorry, I'm on a rant. So, what questions y'all got for me, man? Go ahead and answer some questions. I don't like to just rant and talk to myself. That's how I talk to myself all day long, man. It's kind of weird, right? I know people don't want to hear me yap all damn day. It's not too many people on here, but I do thank y'all for being here. I appreciate everybody for listening to me rant. Sometimes you need to daydream in order to achieve and believe. You know what I mean? It sounds kind of corny, but you got to visualize what you want. And sometimes you got to just speak it into the universe because that's how you get shit done. You want your kids to live in a $20,000 square foot house. 20,000 square feet. Thank you for the gifts, please. Appreciate it. You want your kids to live in a 20,000 square foot home? You want your kids to never want for nothing, never need anything, especially if you have the ability, capability, and the means to do it and set them up. I think I'd be doing them a disjustice, right? I can't take it with me. Might as well set up the next generation. I'll probably do that. That's what I'll probably do. So my goal in my lifetime is $100 million. If I get to $100 million, no generation after me will never work a day again in their lives. But $100 million is a lot of money. I got a long way to go. Like I said, if I had 10, I ain't gonna say I wish I knew when I was gonna pass, but if I had if I had a guarantee 80 years old, I can get it done. Guarantee 80, I can hit 100. A cognitive guarantee 80, not like no Joe Biden 80. I don't want to know. I want to know what the fuck going on. Knock on wood. I wish the man the best. I ain't never rep a sad baby. How much did George Lucas sell Star Wars for? $4 billion. Yeah, he sold it for $4 billion. He paid a shit ton. He paid a crap ton of taxes on it too. But what's crazy is that $4 billion. Let's say if he trusts out, put it into a simplistic index fund or mutual fund or ETF or something, and it's doing 12% juice. That's $120 million a year. So his family heir, he took all $4 billion, spent $3 billion, which you're not gonna spend that kind of money. You know, his kids, and his kids' kids, and his kids' kids can make and live off of $120 million a year. Almost be like the Walton kids. Do you have a financial advisor? Why would I pay somebody to teach me about money? Hell, I probably know more than them. You know the difference between a financial advisor and me? It's like it's like taking an African studies class in college and growing up in Africa. Right? You can take an African studies class, or you can grow up in Africa. Or you can take an urban development class, or you can grow up in the hood, right? No class can teach you certain things about living, being, you can get the greatest person on African American studies in the world. I'm sure there's a Harvard professor who knows more about black people than you can ever imagine. He's probably been studying black people for 40, 50 years. But I've been black my whole life. There's certain things that you learn just by doing them. And there's certain things that you can be taught. Financial advisors, to me, are taught what they know. You don't have to teach me anything. I was in the streets figuring this shit out, right? That's why when you ask me a question about money, I can just talk for hours because I've done it. I'm not just saying shit or saw some fucking YouTube clip. Oh man, I watched this TikTok on mutual funds. I thought, I watched some TikToks on ETFs. I watched a YouTube video on investing. No, I didn't know how to invest. 2008, I saved up $10,000 fighting wars. So with the $10,000, I had to start investing. Well, how do you invest? There's no YouTube. There's no freaking cell phones. There's no Robinhood. There's no Fidelity. I mean, well, there's Fidelity. There's no E-Trade. There's no Webull. There's no Stash. There's no Acorn. You have to freaking hop on the phone and call the brokerage and say, hey, I need to set up a brokerage account. What the hell is a brokerage account? I don't know. Explain to me. And then they break down what a brokerage account is. So that's how I learned what a brokerage account was. And they'll say, and this is what's crazy. This is what's crazy about that. I said, I want to invest. They said, what fund would you like to invest in? I said, what you got? They said, well, sir, we have over 30 funds. I said, you can't just read them to me. He said, no, we'll collect your information and we'll send you out a packet. 2 weeks later, a packet showed up to the mailbox. It's this thick. And I sat my ass down and I read the whole damn packet. Or I attempted to read it. And I said, this says YTD. What the hell is YTD? Okay, well, this says 1 year, 21%. Okay, I guess in a year's time is 21%. 3 year, 5 year, 10 year, inception. What the hell does inception mean? I learned the hard way. No financial advisor is going to teach you that. Financial advisors say, just download this account and put it in your. Fuck that. I'm good. Why the hell would I pay somebody to teach me something I've been doing for years? So, and then this was crazy about it too. A financial advisor or fiduciary or whatever you want to call them takes a fee of all the money you make. So let's say they advise me to put my money into this fund. The fund makes 12%. Well, they get a point or percent of what I make. So I really made 11% because I got to pay them a fee to manage my stuff. Well, why are you managing it when I can just do the same shit myself? And a lot of times their advice is like super conservative, right? There'd be somewhere in the range of 6%, 7%, 8%. Not 8%. Fucking inflation last year was 8.1 or something. I'm good. Is it easy to manage your own money yourself? Yeah, with the internet and apps. Yeah. If you was a client of mine, or we sat down and we did a one-on-one or a consultation, the first thing I'll do, I'll say, download these 4 apps. These 4 apps will manage everything you do. And you manage your stuff yourself. And then once you know like the certain statistics, I'll give you one statistic off the top of my head. The S&P 500 or the NASDAQ or the will, on average, since the Great Depression, give you returns of 10.1% interest. So if you just invest in the stock market, the average fund or the average stock on average will give you 10.1%. So after a year or 2 years or whatever you were at, you look at all your funds and you say, hey, you got to be at least at 10.1%. 10.1 is the minimum. So now you have 10.1. So you're looking at your stocks and your bonds, your mutual funds, your ETFs, your crypto, your real estate, your businesses, and you say, hey, 12.5, you made the cut. 15.4, you made the cut. 31.5, you made the cut. 5.6, sold. I don't even know if y'all even heard me the other day. I was actually on a live, and someone said, yo, Mr. Rich, what you doing? I said, I have a mutual fund that I've had for 4 years, and I really just looked at the account, and it's producing somewhere in the range of like 4.5 to 5%. It wasn't a lot of money. It was only I think like 21 grand or something in there. 21 grand at 5%. That's, I don't know, not a lot of money when the average stock is going to do 10.1. I'm losing half the interest. Gotta go. See you when I see you. So on to the next. Actually, I just discovered it. I didn't even sell it because I got the yapping. But yeah, you have to look at your accounts and manage them. You don't really manage them. You just set it, forget it, double check, make sure you're getting decent returns, and then on to the next. Every beginning of the year, January every year, I look at those accounts. And or January, I do what's called a financial fast, and then I do what's called a physical fast, which everybody should do. A financial fast is when you don't spend any money for a month. Any. But except emergencies. You buy all the food you need at the beginning of the month. You fill up your gas tank at the beginning of the month. And if you want to buy something on Amazon, you just put it in the cart. No money. We're not eating out. We're not going to the movies. We're not going to the park. None of that shit. You sit your ass at home and you watch how much money you can stack in 30 days. I'm not saying it's hard. I'm not saying it's easy, because it is hard. And then you do what's called a physical fast. And the physical fast is no eating out. It's just the eating out. You can spend money online, you can go out, but you can't. All you're doing is eating all the shit in your pantry that's been sitting there. I don't know if you really do it, you'd be surprised on how much crap is in your freezer, how much crap is in your pantry, how much crap is in your refrigerator, how much crap is in your cupboards, because you're not eating out. So you have to eat at home. So that thing of corn that's been sitting in there for 2 months, 2 years, you're gonna eat that. The ravioli that you bought that you thought you were gonna eat it, you're gonna eat that. All the frozen food that's at the bottom, and then you start going through your refrigerator and getting all this crap out. You're like, damn, this is fire. I didn't even notice it here. Man, I was looking for this. And now you're pretty much cleaning out your fridge. You're cleaning out your pantry. You're cleaning out your deep freezer. You're cleaning out your regular freezer. But you're eating the stuff that you've already bought 5, 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, that's just been sitting in the cabinets. It almost forces you to, be cognizant of what you're eating. You would be surprised. You would be surprised how helpful just doing those two every year. And the best time to do them is in January. My personal opinion, best time to do it is January and sometime the first months in January. Sorry, June or September. Best months to do it, because if you have kids, you do it in June. You're not buying all this junk, and they're gonna sit in there and they're gonna be like, "Yo, I'm so hungry." I'm like, "Okay, you can eat some corn." Make a sandwich, right? Get rid of that damn bread. You see that sandwich meat in there? Eat that. And now they're becoming more resourceful too. They're comically learning, which they're eating them all them toaster strudels that's sitting in the bottom of the freezer that you bought but they ain't never eat. And it forces them to eat the stuff in the refrigerator if you do it then. But and then I like to do it the month after Christmas, because you pretty much bought everything, and it kind of like resets your budget because you spent too much money generally over the holidays. So that's just a cool, neat approach to going about stuff. And you'd be surprised how much money you save, especially the financial fast, right? Don't spend any money in a month. Take your ass home. You go to work, put gas in your car. You take packed lunches. Don't eat out. You come home. You sit your ass down and watch Netflix. You don't go out. You don't go shopping. You don't go to Amazon cart. And what's crazy is too, you realize how much time you waste shopping. Now you pick up a new hobby and all that kind of stuff like that too. Just something to think about. Would I need a coach and I need to do a one-on-one with you? Good. Patrick, click the link in the bio and join the free class. We talk about all of that. If you want to learn more. Mini golf course. I want to play. You don't want to play me. You don't want to pay me in mini golf. I take that shit super serious. And I used to work at a um, it's not an amusement park. I guess it's like a family fun park. And they had mini golf there. And since I worked there, I used to take all my dates there for free. And we used to play mini golf. And I used to bust them up. So you won't win in mini golf. Might have to make my own putter. If I take you to mini golf, you bring your own putter, you're gonna be pissed when you lose, or you take it too serious. Oh my back. Already joined? Okay, I'll see you in class, my good sir. What do you mean? You already joined, or you already went to one? Anyway, what subjects we got to talk about? Talk about money, LLC, business credit, business funding. I also joined. Your name don't look familiar. I'm a soul man. Johnny. If you joined, you got a text message from me? Text me back and we can go from there. I'm gonna talk about 10 more minutes. I'll probably get off. So, man, I got so much work to do. Insurance bill. I'm not worried about this. I need a trash can. I need it like right here. But what's up with y'all, man? What's going on in y'all lives? How's y'all day going? Don't ask me, $1 million baby. Mm-hmm. I ain't never represent, baby. Do you think golf clubs are good investments? I've been thinking about Fresno and Donald Trump wanted. What? I got most of the stuff I need to text you for credit repair thing, but I wish I had a checklist. Hey Eugene, what's up? You in here? So you are you in the community? Cause that ain't a bad idea. I might add a checklist. So what's popping? I'm chilling. Who you yelling at tonight? You? Today, tonight, tomorrow, this morning? Man, ain't a lot of people. It is a lot of people. Well, I might gotta reset. It's acting up on all social medias. Let me come over here and let's see what's going on. Don't ask me, $1 million, baby. If you were 25 and had less than five figures, why you why you say it like that? Somebody said on Instagram, if if you were 25 and had less than five figures, why are you saying five figures? Like it's like you're saying it weird. So if you had less than five figures, that would be four figures. So less than $9,000. That's a weird way to say it, my brother. But I can appreciate it though. I don't even think you in the live anymore, so I won't even answer the question. I'll show you how to do this, son. If you having girl problems, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, and thank y'all for being live on social media, live YouTube. Thank you, thank you. I need to fix my social media to where you can hyperlink it, but it's all good. But I'm about to hop off. My back is hurting and I'm tired. But I appreciate y'all for being here. Do you got a golf cart? No. I lived on a golf course, and my neighbor had a golf course. Sorry, I lived on the golf course. My neighbor had a golf cart, so if I wanted to ride it, I would just ride his. But no, the community I'm in is really like golf cart friendly, and the community the missus want to live in is not golf cart friendly either. So, but we have little e-bikes. Them things hit about 20, 25 miles an hour. That'll get you through the whole neighborhood. You can go wherever you want to. And we got a gang of them, all different colors. What's up with you in golf? You like golf or something? I told myself I'm gonna do an hour on here. How do you set up a one-on-one? Hey, Patrick, what's your real name? Because I'm sure I text you. All right, Miss Rock, you take it easy. Womp womp. Johnson, click the link in the bio and join the free class. Mr. Patrick. Hello, SpongeBob. Join the free class. You want, and then I'll talk to you about everything I'm running and everything I'm doing. You kind of can go from there. So for those who don't know, I offer a free class. We talk about everything: money, finances, credit, funding. You sent me notifications already? What, Mr. Patrick? You're not in my system. Maybe it's under a different name. I'm gonna put John in here. John. What's a good email for you? Oh, if you're part of the free class, oh yeah. If you're part of the free class, well, yeah, just go to the free class. You'll get a notification Wednesday. So for those who want to sign up, links should be in the bio, depending on where you're watching. But you can find it. You just go to any one of my social medias and find it. Or go to getrichard.com. But you got to type in the HTTPS, all that kind of crap too. But you know, it is what it is. I hate taking pills. Give me a second though. Elliot. But yeah, it's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. And a lot of people on there today, but tomorrow will always be a brighter day. Hope y'all found value in anything I talked about today. But yeah, turn your notifications on, and throughout your days and throughout your journey, if you have any questions, I want you to remember what you wanted to ask and then just ask it, and I kind of can get you pointed in the right direction. Then we can go from there. Say word, word. Hope you find value. Or click the link in the bio, join the free class if you want to learn more about anything I talked about. Later, dudes.